The Dorset Inn was the setting for a talk given Monday morning by Michael Schirling, the state's Secretary for the Agency of Commerce and Community Development. Schirling spoke to the more than 30 residents, state representatives, and business owners, and began by giving his perspective on the challenges and opportunities facing the state's economy.
Weaving together with all of that is the cost of operating a business, which in part is driven by construction costs, and probably the biggest challenge we hear from businesses on a day-to-day basis is availability of workers. Number one thing that we think is stymieing growth of our largely small businesses across Vermont, no matter where you are in the state, is availability of workforce. And then the overlay to all of this is we're running a state that is roughly the size of a mid-sized U.S. city. By mid-size, we mean something the size of Boston or Baltimore that's 650,000 people. We're delivering government resources on a state level with the population and the tax base associated with a small, mid-sized city. So make no mistake, this isn't about how do we become Austin. It's how do we become the Vermont-size version of that with 20,000 people in an ecosystem, or 40,000, or whatever that number is. But it's got all the right things that it can exist organically, and you can have collisions of ideas and natural growth. Right now we're working to purpose-build those kinds of ecosystems. Some of them are.
But the conversation quickly turned to a focus on broadband and the state of internet connectivity in Vermont in general, and in Dorset in particular.
One of the missing pieces to the puzzle in many communities is broadband. So true broadband of 100 megabit synchronous connection.
As a group of residents from East Dorset pointed out that the lack of adequate bandwidth in their area impeded their ability to grow their businesses. Funding the expansion of broadband connectivity and having faster internet service was one of those chicken and egg problems, somewhat like increasing the supply of mid-range housing that Vermont faced, Schirling said. Without improving service, there would be a limit to economic growth, but the cost of expanding and improving service was costly, and recouping the investment by private sector developers would be time-consuming. Should the state government do more to speed this along? Maybe, but doing so would cost money, which meant cutting other services or raising taxes, something the governor is not keen on, Schirling said. Afterwards, Brenda Travers, an owner of Wildwood Berry Farm on Mad Tom Road in East Dorset, described some of her frustration.
One of the major things, one of my businesses happens to be a small motel. People come to stay, they expect internet. I don't have internet. So that's not even from a perspective of me running the business. I need internet for my customers. Tourism is huge in Vermont. But my reservation system, people need to get online. I can't pay my bills. I said that. My online banking, I go to the bank just about every single day. In 2018, I shouldn't have to go to the bank every day. I should be able to do something with a few keystrokes. Payroll. I submit payroll electronically to a payroll company, and it just takes 3 times longer than it really needs to. And sometimes, I'm not kidding, I submit my payroll at 3 a.m. because it's just easier. For some reason, I have more bandwidth to work with.
There's no question there's more work to be done, Schirling said towards the end of the discussion. For the GNet TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.